Hello friends, welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be designing my faith planner for the month of September. We'll be setting up all my monthly and weekly pages, so come plan with me. And I've got these rolls of PET tape ready to go, along with some various markers I may use, these Happy Planner sticker books, and this Planning Things sticker book, which I'll pull from. Okay, you guys, let's go ahead and get started on the weekly spreads first. I'll lay down some wax paper and figure out how I want this theme to look. I decided to go with the sunflowers for the month from the Planning Things sticker book. It's an older sticker book and it has a lot of different fall feel type things in there, and sunflowers aren't quite fall to me. I always feel like a little bit more early fall, maybe late summer. So I thought that would be perfect for a September spread. I'm also thinking to bring in some of this new PET tape that I got in my journal say haul. It's a roll of different doors and windows, which wasn't really sure how I was going to use, but just thought they would coordinate as far as the colors pretty well with these sunflowers. So we'll bring some of those in, along with a couple of other rolls of PET tape stickers that I got in these like branchy leaf styles. I got a bunch of colors. I think I got 6 colors in all, but I'll just be using the yellow and green to somewhat limit the color palette of this theme. I really like the yellow and the green from the florals, and I thought that the brown of the center of the floral would work well with the brown of the doors. So we're gonna kind of stick with that color scheme overall. I'm also using some Happy Planner sticker books for some faith quote type stickers. I was scrounging a little bit, looking for things that would coordinate well, and I did find this book here with larger quotes that have some of the colors that I wanted. Not exactly though, there was a few that I just felt were going to clash quite a bit. So what I decided to do was just cut out the coordinating colors as I saw them and brought those in individually. So instead of doing more of a full quote, it's more like just a faith word for each of the spreads. But I have enough to do all 4 weeks in the same manner with the same color scheme, so we're going to work with that on this spread. I also have another Happy Planner sticker book with similar style of writing and quote type stickers, so I'll use those on the other spreads. Hopefully we'll have enough to bring in the right color scheme for all of those as well. So I am going to go ahead and build out each of the 4 weeks here on this one spread. I only decorate the top left corner of each of my weeklies, and then I use the rest of the dated boxes for verse lettering. So I'm just working out how it's going to look now, and I think I like having like one of the main doors or windows grouped together with a sunflower cluster, and then these branchy elements added on to kind of fill up a little bit more space and make things a little more interesting. I am bringing in yellow and green here, and that I think is enough as far as the leafy extras to kind of continue the color scheme, make things a little bit more fun, and then also to enhance the look and feel of more of a fall transitional spread. And I wasn't sure if I really wanted it to look like the florals were behind the windows or not, so I did it on some but not on the others. I think it kind of looks better without them behind, kind of more in the background, but not actually part of the window, but we'll see how that all turns out. Also figuring out how I want to work in each of these individual kind of faith words in and around the clusters I'm making. And this one in particular with the smaller window, I feel like it needs a little more presence. So I'll have to figure out what I want to do with that one, because I'm pretty much using all of the larger options that are part of that PET tape already. And then it starts to repeat. So I didn't really have a lot of extra things to work with. But I got the idea to make this more of a double-decker window, and I think that actually turned out pretty good. I took a second window of the same style, and then I just cut off the top part a little bit so it could look like it was actually the bottom, and then maybe the casement could, come down or something, kind of give you a visual like that. So I think that worked out pretty nice for having limited options at my disposal. Now I'm going to bring in a few more little branchy elements from that sticker book from Plannything that were part of the sunflower collection. Some of these have more than others, so I thought it would be nice to have a little bit of each of these little branchy clusters from that book on every one. So again, it kind of just all looks a little more uniform. And okay, I think I've got good clusters for each of the weeks. Let's go ahead and move those on to each spread. That one was a little closer than I wanted it to be to the edge. Just needed to rework the positioning a bit. Go ahead and move on to the second one here. It's really nice. Everything's touching, so it's pretty easy to move these clusters over in one fell swoop. Just trying to figure out how I want that to coordinate, but I think I like it a little bit on the outside. Moving on to the third week. I really wish I had some quotes that were a little bit more geared specifically towards the doors and the windows, but I think the ones that I pulled work pretty well. They're just more, like I said, more words than quotes. So we've moved on to the monthly now, and just trying to figure out now how I'm going to work in all those same elements here on the monthly spread. Definitely don't have the same amount of room as I did in the upper boxes on the weekly, so this large door just might be too much for the sidebar. And then I got the idea to cut the door in half so you would get the idea of the door, but it wouldn't take up all that space there in the sidebar. And I think that worked out really nice. I grouped together some of the sunflowers that I had, and I'm just trying to piece it together here so it, again, kind of has the same look and feel as the other clusters did on the weeklies. So here in the larger Happy Planner sticker book, there is those quotes I mentioned in a similar manner, just a bit different. And I did find that there were two yellow ones that I can pull in for this theme for the month. First one here that I grabbed was Light in the Darkness. I think that one works pretty well here on the monthly, nice and kind of horizontal to fill up some of those empty days at the end of the month. Also trying to bring in some of these extra pieces that I had saved, maybe as a little bit of something on the bottom of the pages to bring in more of the sunflower vibes. And then thought about moving that quote up into the sidebar and then put it down long way, so it was kind of like traveling sideways on the, vertically on the page. It looks good, but I'm not sure if I want that yet. We will see, because I don't have a good plan for the empty days at the end of the month at this point. I do fill out all of the month days, so I need all of the space I can get there in the middle. So I really need to use the outer edges as much as possible for decor. And creating another cluster up here at the top. Just figuring out all the little pieces and how they might fit together. Again, not really coming down too much into the months so that I can use the area functionally. Bringing in only the more leafy branches from this PET tape roll. I skip a lot of the ones that just didn't feel like they had the right vibe. So that's why there's a lot of extra still left over. And then I went back to moving the quote there into the empty days and trying to figure out how to bring this all together here. I did grab a colorful box and put that in the sidebar. Although I really don't have a plan for that box at this time, but maybe I'll come up with something before the month begins. I had a very tiny little window on that roll that I could use, so I went ahead and brought that in. I'm going to move it to the outside though, because I think it just balances a little better that way. And then I'm going to move in this floral cluster slightly. Again, trying to think in a triangular kind of pattern so that all of the main decor elements are related to each other triangularly. And felt like the box needed a little bit more of the sunflower decor up here, so I'm just adding some bits and pieces, making another little cluster. Don't really have anything else to add in other than maybe some smaller elements around this window. Maybe a few more clusters of these branchy things in and around the florals. I'm just going to try to use up some of these, so I'm going to cut this one down, see if I can make that work with some of these clusters I've made, but that one just didn't feel right with the scale of what I have there on the spread. I'm going to go back into the yellow ones and bring in a few of those since I haven't yet. And just making some adjustments. We're getting close, I think. Just being kind of nitpicky with how things are related to each other. Thought I might want to bring in a layered box for the sidebar, but didn't see anything that I really liked. And then I got the idea to bring in maybe some washi, even though I haven't used any of the washi yet. I have this yellow washi that I thought was a fairly good mix. But something I didn't think about when I was laying this in was that I will be highlighting each day already with a color. So it's going to have a lot of color in and amongst the boxes already. I don't necessarily need the washi tape. I wanted to bring in more color too, because again, I kind of didn't really think about the highlighting at this point. So I found this green leaf washi tape that I have and thought that that might be a good layering washi with the yellow. Let's start moving things over. Again, really sorry about the lighting. It's it's so hard to judge how clear the skies are going to be. I'm going to need to figure out a better lighting solution soon because I feel like it's very unpredictable here, the weather versus where I was before in California. And the clouds come in all the time and I'm just not ready for it on camera. So yeah, bear with me while I work that part of my new video setup out. And I'm going to go ahead and white out those empty days at the end of the month. Also drop in the stickers there in that bottom corner. move over some of this washi tape and maybe finish things off here in the top corner with another cluster. Just need to clean up some of those lines. And now I'm going to go ahead and highlight each of the boxes for where I put in my daily reading verses each day. And I pulled a couple of colors. I pulled a yellow, a green, and then I also pulled a black brush pen. I think I'm going to stick with just the yellow. I kind of like the bright vibes of the yellow. So I brought that in, and now I'm just not liking the way that the washi tape is in the middle there. So I took out the yellow washi tape and left the green, but honestly, I think I'm going to end up removing the green as well before I start actually using this spread. But I didn't do anything with it while I was filming. You'll see it here till the end, but like I said, I'll probably end up just moving it or removing it from that spread. And finally, we will do the last spread and a half. I'll lay down the wax paper once again. The first 2 pages of this are my faith overview spread. That's a unique layout to my shop. The back page is just the simple kind of dot grid notes page. I've been using that for various reasons throughout the year. This month, I think I'm just going to go back to a simple gratitude, but last month I did a prayer challenge. I've also done how God is working in my life each week. So I've done a few different things. And yeah, this one I think I'm just going to go back to a simple gratitude. September is probably going to be a pretty busy month for me, so I like to keep it fairly low key when that is the case, because it can get overwhelming with all that I have set up in my planner to do every day. So I like to simplify things where possible. Just trying to come up with some clusters now for the last 3 pages. This one spread here, I've reused the half door there on the side, and I really like that. I also had a couple of larger sunflower stickers left over from various other spreads that I'd used a majority of the larger stickers for, so I had the 1 or 2 that were fairly large. I went ahead and cut one in half, and I'm using that here on the overview as well as on the back page. And now I'm just trying to build out individual clusters, again, similar to how I was doing there on the weeklies, bringing in bits and pieces of various florals and those branchy PET tape stickers. Also the windows and the doors where I feel like it can work fairly well. These larger sunflowers were more of like an isolated floral, no leaves or anything around it. So I am using some of the extras that I had in that sticker book to really help flesh out these clusters and make them feel full like they were on the others. So these take a little bit more to build out. They're not as easy and as simple as the ones were on the weeklies, because those were kind of already pre-made clusters of all the different florals and branches. So now I am just dropping in some more of the yellow branchy elements. Again, only really picking out the ones that I feel match with the styling of these stickers. Relationship-wise, you can see that I am kind of working on a triangular shape here on the overview again. This works pretty well on this layout because there are some functional spaces, but there's plenty of empty space as well. So I can pretty much put the decor anywhere where there's not a functional area, and it sort of ends up being in a triangular relationship. And oh my goodness, the color keeps going in and out. Shades from the clouds really must have been rolling in, and that wasn't really paying attention. Hopefully you guys aren't too distracted by that. One thing I have not brought in yet are quotes, so I'm going to go ahead and look through this Happy Planners sticker book, see if there's anything in here that I can pull that's not one of these 2 quotes that I found. So I'm pretty much at the end of anything that is yellow only to bring in. And so I got a yellow circle sticker that I liked. And I thought I might put it over there, but I think I'm just going to leave that for the back page. Did find this little header, but it doesn't really work where I want it to. I have a half circle element I've already brought in that says gratitude, which I think will be perfect for the back. And then I had that one box sticker that said answered prayers in green, but I just couldn't find a good place to put it. So I went ahead and put that back on the sticker book. I really feel like that's all I had to work with, so we really stretched out those quote stickers to make them work for all of these various spreads. Let's go ahead and start moving things over now. And again, they're all kind of clustered up, so pretty easy to move off of the wax paper and into position, which I love. Simplifies things quite a bit. And now, just making some adjustments, making sure everything is straight. I'm going to drop in these last couple of clusters here on the back. Yeah, I think I like this gratitude kind of nestled underneath the notes header there. And do some trimming. One thing I realized too is that I didn't bring any of this washi tape in, so let me do that now. Just to tie these pages together with the monthly. Kind of wish I had used a little bit of this on the weeklies since I am using it on all these pages, but I'll get over it. It's not all the same. I'm going to go ahead and highlight some of those areas there in my habit tracker and then put some bullets in for my prayer list. Seeing if there's anything else I want to bring in here. Feels a little bit empty, but I still think it looks pretty good. I just felt like it needed a little bit more. There's a lot of open space, which I'm a big fan of white space, but sometimes I want a little bit more of a full feeling when I'm done. And okay, I think that's going to do it for us, friends. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we will see you next time. Bye!